Ode to the West Wind is an early 19th century poem by the Englishman Percy Bysshe Shelley. Written in Florence in 1819, it was published a year later. Shelley was an atheist and a political radical, and to some extent the poem reflects that. 2 years after writing it, at the age of just 29, he died in a boating accident off the coast of Italy. At that point in time, he was unappreciated beyond a small circle of critics, fellow writers and close friends. Nowadays, he's widely regarded as one of the greatest poets in the English language. Ode to the West Wind is one of his greatest poems. It's a religious stroke magical invocation, which might seem odd given that Shelley was an atheist. His 1811 pamphlet, The Necessity of Atheism, got him suspended from Oxford University. However, in his 1813 Queen Mab, he wrote, "There is no God. This negation must be understood solely to affect a creative deity. The hypothesis of a pervading spirit co-eternal with the universe remains unshaken." On that basis, the Princeton University scholar Carlos Baker rather controversially claimed that Shelley was more of an agnostic than an atheist. An ode is an ancient ceremonial verse form in which private emotion and abstract reflection are mixed. In this case, the poet petitions the west wind in its role as preserver and destroyer to remake the world and to revitalise the poet himself. The poem's in 5 parts, or cantos, each consisting of 5 verses. The first 3 cantos concern the wind, extolling its transcendent glory just as a devotee might extol a god, and each ends with the supplication, "O hear." The last 3 cantos turn the poet's attention inwards and invoke the wind's power to subsume, cleanse and disseminate. What makes this a great poem, and you've really got to read it for yourself, is its gradually intensifying emotional majesty in which darkness is an integral component. This is the autumn wind. Shelley mentions it's azure sister of the spring, and it's intimately connected to the natural processes of death and destruction. In some ways, that's what makes the last 2 cantos so powerful. The author knows only too well that he's mortal, that he too must go the same way as the dead leaves that he mentions at the beginning. Only let his words continue. It's a prayer many an author has probably uttered. The poem brings lots of things to bear to achieve its impact. Firstly, there's the language, which is deliberately archaic and designed to mimic ritualistic prayers. It feels ancient. In terms of the imagery, ancient Greek mythology plays a big part, but so do natural phenomena, black rain and fire and hail, and geography. Just like God, the wind seems to be everywhere at once, and it's fearsome and dynamic. The poem wouldn't be so impressive, however, if it was just about the wind, no matter how profound and original its representations. What lifts it into greatness is the pathos with which the votary appears at the end. He appears before the reader as gradually as the wind did in the first 3 cantos, but with a very different emotional force, grounded in conflicting sensations of human weakness, indignation, and pride. When, over a century later, the great Welsh poet Dylan Thomas wrote "Rage, rage against the dying of the light," he didn't put it any better than this. Because on one reading it's in the form of a magical invocation, it demands to be read aloud. Luckily, it can be found in lots of places on the internet nowadays, so try it. Even if there's only you in the room, you won't be able to ignore its effect.